average Rolls-Royce customer is around 40 years old. That's quite young in the grand scheme of things. Half of Rolls-Royce customers then are younger than that. That's why the Rolls-Royce Wraith Black Badge, exists. The Black Badge Rolls-Royces are apparently for young men in a hurry. Currently, you can get two with the bespoke Black Badge trim. A Ghost, which gets more power and more torque, and this, a Wraith. It gets more torque and other things. But mercifully, it still gets brollies in the doors, which is good for me tonight because it's raining and miserable. See, while one can never accuse a Rolls of being a sports car, some buyers have had their eyes drawn by the likes of Bentley, who offer a slightly more sporty take on luxury. And the Black Badge is just that. More power, more attitude, more fun than a traditional roller. Looking to the past, that's something that Rolls-Royce was all about. Fun, adventure, going against the grain, having attitude. And that's all because of an association with a group of young, adventurous types. The Bright Young Things. Who are these people then? Well, they were the kids who were too young to go to World War I, the children of the upper echelons of society. They had money, time and a desire to make the most of what they had, famed for partying, being grand and using London as their playground. The Bright Young Things were the sort of proto-new money hipster made in Chelsea types. Their parties were legendary. Drinking, debauchery, people swinging from chandeliers. There was one which was the Come As You Were party. Now, invites were sent out to arrive at all hours of the day, and they insisted that the recipient turn up to the event wearing whatever they were wearing when they received the invite. The outfits were apparently outlandish and brilliant. The Bright Young Things weren't often ones for the norm. Their relationships were with whoever they wanted them to be, no matter what side of the law they fell on. But the Bright Young Things had another pastime: treasure hunts. The treasure hunts were originally put together simply to stave off boredom for a few people. What they'd do is they'd get around town using many means of transport, including notably the London public transport system, which is something they weren't really used to. And then once they'd found their trinkets, they'd retire to a bar or a hotel or a restaurant and get absolutely battered. Clues to the location of treasures would come in all shapes and forms, from newspaper headlines to being baked inside loaves of Hovis. Their hunts, after moving on from public transport, moved to the motor car, namely Rolls-Royce motor cars. The Daily Mail, a newspaper that manages to find outrage in everything from chocolate spread to pure, simple human decency, was the first people to notice what was going on after seeing 50 motor cars parading through town screaming on one of their famous treasure hunts. They called them the Bright Young People. And you know what? The Bright Young Things really loved the media attention. They were a bit whorish in that respect. They also liked the fact that their antics rather upset their elders. Seeing as I've got my finest velvet on and a roller at the dead of night in London, I thought it would be appropriate to have a treasure hunt of my own. Time to take the roller to bits of town that explain what's new about it. 2 in the head, but 1 in a town. Look up at me from the roller as many look down. Well, that would be the London Eye. Now, what's special about that? It's big and it's round, just like the wheels on this, and they are pretty special. They've got 22 layers of carbon fibre making them up, which is actually, well, impressive stuff. It took Rolls-Royce apparently 4 years to develop them. Standing proud with my weapon on show as the circus of lights swirls below. Now that'll be Eros, and what our chubby weaponised friend is pointing towards is of course the statue, the Spirit of Ecstasy, the statue that adorns every Rolls-Royce hood. Now the thing is, on the Black Badge, the Spirit is black, as is the badge and various other exterior bits, and the interior's special as well. It's all dark and moody with a carbon composite dotted all over the place, stunning leather and even a new clock. It's very special in here. Anyway, on to another clue. Not the clock, but rather the bell, with gears inside for time to tell. Well, that must be Big Ben, and because of all the gears and cogs, we're probably referring to the gearbox. Now, in the vanilla Wraith, Just like here, you get an 8-speed GPS guided gearbox, so it'll change gear depending on what road and how you're driving, but this one has been recalibrated to suit the Black Badge's more sporting character. The engine has been given an extra 52 pound-foot to play with as well. Now you get 642 pound-foot to go with a 6.6 litre turbo V12 624 brake horsepower. 0 to 62 takes 4.5 seconds and it'll top out at an adequate 155 miles an hour. Not bad for a car that weighs just shy of 2.5 tonnes. Twin that with a revised, more sporting air suspension setup and bigger brakes, and it's shaping up to be quite an impressive motor. The Bright Young Things were well known for their love of all things Rolls-Royce and luxury and excellence and all that stuff. So, would the Wraith Black Badge be the right motor for them? I was debating going into this big long diatribe about how amazing everything is and how light the steering is and how quiet it is, because it is very quiet. The steering is very light and it's like floating. The interior is amazing, though the infotainment system is yay old school iDrive. The look and feel of the thing is typical Rolls-Royce. It's so quiet, so smooth, so perfect. There's no point in going too deep into it because you know what to expect of a roller. You know what this is going to be like. You don't need me to tell you that the Rolls-Royce is a good car, because it is absolutely phenomenal. There's nothing quite like a Rolls-Royce. As I said with the Dawn, you don't drive a Rolls-Royce, you move with it, you feel it, you experience it, you're part of it. It's unlike anything else in the world. Though with the Black Badge, yeah, they've made a few modifications so you can hear a bit more of the engine, and this thing is plenty fast enough as well. 0 to 62 is 4.5 seconds, which for something of this size, this weight, is otherworldly and bizarre and absolutely incredible. The performance is breathtaking, yeah, the fuel economy isn't so great, and the turning circle is enormous. The workmanship in here, the quality of everything is just mind-blowing. Every time I step into a roller, it's perfect, is what it is. It's absolutely perfect. And that's the kind of thing that people like the Bright Young Things way back in the day would have aspired to. They didn't want anything that wasn't right. These are the people that created their own culture of silliness and fun. The world they had entered was irrevocably changed by the First World War. So they made it up. They did it their own way. They wanted perfection, they wanted fun, they wanted outrageousness and hilarity at every step. And that is kind of what this thing is, because it is hilariously fast. It's outrageous to look at. I mean, in black at night, yes, it's a bit tricky to see. It's quite stealthy, but the size of this thing, the dimensions of it, this is a monument to British luxury, to excess, to what happens when you don't just watch a sports team from a private box. It's you watch your sports team that you own from your private box, and then you get back into this and you drive home or drive to where they are and party the night away. If you think of the Phantom and the Ghost as the ones to enjoy from the back seat, the ones where you wish to have the Rolls-Royce lifestyle but not necessarily drive the Rolls-Royce. This is the roller that you buy and you drive and you enjoy, and you go from party to party to event, and you just have the best time ever. That's this thing, and it's bloody brilliant. More torque, a sharper ride, sleek new looks, and an attitude that suits the Bright Young Things of today. The Wraith may not be the smallest car in the world, but it's certainly one of the finest.